And good morning, everyone. It is this Thursday, 27th day of June. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm with meteorologist, not Ryan Hoke, but Brian Good. But I wish I was Ryan Hoke. I'd be good at so many different computer things, for sure. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday, everyone. My voice, I know it sounds like I just woke up, but boy, the allergies for me this year, normally, they affect me pretty bad almost every year. Last year, I got pretty lucky. This year, I don't know what's going on this year. It may just be the grasses, but boy, they've been hammering me with sneezing fits each and every morning here as of late. I'm sure I'm not alone on that, but just makes for a fun day to start things off right. I can't even see anything because my eyes are so puffy. All right. Well, I hope you guys are doing well and taking your allergy meds. If you have to be outside today, at least the humidity is lower. That's good. That makes it for a better feeling day. And we'll begin to get back into the hot talk again starting for tomorrow and parts of the weekend. That will come with some showers and storms. But boy, those storms that came through, I know I didn't get a chance to see you guys when they were happening, but a decent amount of rain in some areas, not all as you're about to see, but some of you did get at least some rainfall, and I'm glad about that because we were getting a little concerned on the toasty side of things, right? Outside at the moment, beautiful blue sky. This is the camera, too. I've been watching. There's this bird that keeps wanting to sit on the camera today, and at times tilts the image on us. But anyway, we'll see if he'll come back and visit or not. Usually it's Charlotte the spider that we're tracking on these cameras. But now I need to name the birds. Okay, so it is beautiful today. Temperature right now in the lower 70s, a lot of you in the 60s. Humidity is noticeable. Don't get me wrong. It's not like you're not going to walk out there and think, wow, it feels like it's early April out. You're not going to say that. You're going to say, boy, it feels like it's June out here, and you'd be right. So it feels like what it should be like. It's better than upper 70-degree dew points, that's for sure. But 60s will be felt, and this number will actually be dropping into the afternoon, making it feel even better. Got a few clouds. Some of this was actually fog this morning that's kind of dispersed in different areas. We are getting rid of that fairly quick, mainly across central Kentucky now. The cloud bank continues to lift. Should see a decent amount of sun as we head throughout the day today with, again, lower humidity at play. So a nice looking and feeling day. Now, the drought status. Well, that updated, and not a shocker here. Indiana, you guys watching there, were moved up to another category of moderate for the drought. And Louisville now in the low-end drought status, or considered abnormally dry, which is basically low-end, but technically you're not there until you get to the moderate, but either way. We all know it's getting drier, right? But we did have the most recent rainfall. Now, here's the thing. This ground, or this particular map, was based on the data they got when they were looking at all the data for Kentucky and Indiana on Tuesday. As you guys know, most of our rain was late Tuesday night into Wednesday, so that has not been factored in. So considering that, when you look at least the rainfall amounts, again, remember where the moderate drought is across Indiana, Paoli, Salem, Seymour, Madison. Areas in the low-end scale, Louisville, LaGrange, and Carrollton, and Shelbyville. But when you look at the rainfall that we had in the past 48 hours, notice there were some spots that were focused on 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and that was in an area located northeast Washington County, Indiana, to near Jefferson County, Indiana, and on around the Louisville area back toward near Shelbyville and LaGrange and near Carrollton. That's where quite a bit of rain fell with those clusters of thunderstorms. So even though the drought status came out, those of you that did get some of the rain recently, the drought status really won't apply to you. Now, if you're outside of those two circles I drew, you likely are still very much in the same ball game of being into a moderate drought, into especially Indiana. So Paoli, Bedford, parts of Floyd County, Clark County, as well as Harrison County, you likely are still abnormally dry. Anyway, that's how we're tracking it. We're just keeping an eye on the rainfall amounts and trends with each system, and then correlating that with each of the weekly updates from the drought monitor to see where we stand on things. And that is where we are today. So I think it's fair to say parts of Indiana are worsening. The rest of the area is getting drier and drier. So this map will, the drought map will be back out again next Thursday. We'll see what it says, because we do have more rain chances coming into play, right? This weekend especially, I think, will be a big factor on how that new map will look. We don't have to worry about the current system. That's moving out. Our next one's waiting for us to the northwest, where severe weather will be breaking out again today. Enhanced risk all the way into Canada, all the way into the Front Range of the Rockies. You get a lot of big hail with these. Sorry, excuse me. I'm trying not to sneeze. I really am trying not to sneeze. I've never sneezed on the blog yet. Today is not going to be that day. Okay. Whew, I made it. Now my eyes are all watering. Okay. Severe weather again in front range of the Rockies. That slides a little more east tomorrow. More of MCS's little complexes of storms rolling through the trough itself as it moves the plains, but leaving us alone. So we're fine tomorrow, except for maybe a few counties east of 65 tomorrow afternoon. I'll show you why. And then as we get into when the front actually gets draped over, these fronts do the same thing. They come in with a very aggressive attack, but they sense all the high pressure that is across the mid-Atlantic or to the southeast coastline and into the Caribbean. That is the typical tropical setup, right? So these fronts move in, they sense that, and they just basically become horizontal or flatten out. They don't continue that aggressive attack. Some can, but it's hard for them to do that all the way south of Kentucky. So they end up slowing down and tilting over us, and they become usually heavy rain producers, which is not a bad thing. We need some rainfall, all right? But that looks like what this one will likely try to do. Severe risk is out on Saturday for this, later today more than any other time, and it's mainly for Ohio. Could that be expanded a little further west? Possible. I'll explain how and why that would come into play. All right, here is Futurecast showing today. Again, we're good, no problems, generally staying in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. We get into tonight, no problems. We get into your Friday. Now, Friday, as I mentioned, we will have a couple of the systems passing through the Midwest. Watch what happens. The red areas, as I try to show you all, is the fuel, the CAPE or the storm fuel. Watch what happens is that storm, that complex, moves from Illinois into Indiana. You'll see it begin to pull in the amount of moisture in the afternoon on Friday, and you see the heat build upward. Now, the core of the system is actually going to stay way to our north, tracking way up again into near 70, I-70, if not further north than that. But with it passing by, it'll try to pull in a good south amount of moisture to provide for at least one or two pop-up storms Friday afternoon, mainly for Kentucky. You got to be closer to the moisture source when they pull in like that. Isolated, no big ordeal. That's MCS number one, complex number one. Again, arriving Friday night. Only thing impact-wise I see for us is it may help induce one or two isolated pop-up storms. It rolls by. MCS number two rolls in Saturday morning. This one as well will likely stay mainly to our north. Could get some reaction on that through the midday hour of some scattered downpours, but not a lot. Models overall keep it fairly quiet. Saturday afternoon, evening, this is where the model is about to end. But this is where the last and final round of storms will begin to fire. Right across, I would say, very close to Louisville and Cincinnati, and then racing quickly to the east. This is the reason why the Storm Prediction Center likes Ohio for the slight risk and not Kentucky, is that it just times out better for that last third MCS that roll on by Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. Timing of that and heating of the day all max out right there in the good wind field into that area of Ohio. But there is a decent enough wind field into Kentucky still along that front that there could still be one or two strong storms that can develop along that. This would be Saturday night. Okay, so it's a 1, 2, and 3. Really only the third one has the best chance to impact us with some showers and storms. That'll be later Saturday night. Okay, if we don't get reading rain out of that, well, that's not a good thing because we may have to wait until the holiday weekend. Here's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center and from CSU, the Colorado State. Very similar thinking overall. Nothing really major on differences there. They still got a low wind severe risk for all of us, and they do have that little spike there, as you can see, into parts of Ohio. All right, potential rainfall amounts. This is only through very early on Sunday morning, but you can see the crisscrossing for one, where we've got the Friday chance of storms. Then we've got one MCS that tries to pull in a thunderstorm, and then we get the third one Saturday night. That's why it looks kind of weird. But look at the rain totals, at least if we were to take this verbatim, which we know we shouldn't do. But you get the idea that some of you could get skipped out of this. So I hope you get some rain, but it's not a lock on the rain chances for this weekend. Okay. Well, real quick update on the tropics. There is a tropical wave in the southwest Gulf, but it's really the one way out in the Atlantic that's getting more attention. It's right now just an Invest 95-L. That's very catchy. It's way out there in the Atlantic at the moment, but the modeling really likes this thing and really wants to try to develop it. So where would it go? Well, as it stands right now, based on the high that's there into the Atlantic, it will stay fairly close to the island chain as we head into the Antilles, all the way to eventually the southern Caribbean islands as we head into early next week. This is not a track for those that in the islands want to see because there is plenty of very warm water to work with there. I don't know what it'll do after that. I don't know if it's going to head more into the Gulf. It'll turn to Florida or turn out to sea. We don't know. But if you have friends or family anywhere into the Caribbean or any cruises or vacation plans, certainly for this weekend and next week, make sure they're fully aware that a tropical system could develop. The next name on the list would be Burl. Okay, here is Futurecast with the Euro. Showing again some showers and storms next week. I would say we're in the 3rd, so right before the 4th of July. Another front does move in. That should be our next chance of storms after the weekend. We do get hot in between all these little waves, by the way. We'll get in the 90s each time. And we may get stuck here where there's a couple of lows in Canada that constantly throw down low pressures in the Ohio Valley. We'll see how far down they dip. But if this continues and the tropics continue to stay active mainly to the south or curving out to sea, this would be a good setup for us to avoid any intense record-breaking heat wave or perhaps maybe even avoid a drought. I would like that if that repeating pattern can keep happening. I just don't know if that pattern will or not. It's possible. All right, here's your 10-day early alert. I'll show you all that, and I'll get to some of your quick questions. Again, 89 today, close to 90. Tomorrow we'll heat back up. Saturday, before we get to those different waves of storm chances Saturday afternoon and night, 94 the high, but I'm telling you, the heat index is going to be over 100 on Saturday. So get ready to really sweat on Saturday. So it's one of those kind of overcast type of days, a little bit of sun, hazy sun, but very, very humid. That's how Saturday will be. Sunday, just like today, in a sense, we reset the air to get us into Monday, but we heat back up rapidly, and that leads us into that storm potential as we head into the holiday weekend, which we'll have more about into the coming days ahead. All right, any questions? I can try to answer. Watching from Boston, way up there. Oh, at a conference. Okay, yeah. Oh, well, as well. I like Boston. I like Boston a lot. Boston Logan is a little scary to fly into, but it's fun. I think everyone's good. All right. Easy going, right? It's a pretty easy forecast. I mean, it's all spaced out, so we can time all these out one by one, which is kind of nice. I just hope you guys get some beneficial rainfall. That certainly do need it. I'll look over the midday data, and I will have that coming up for you guys coming up on midday at 11 o'clock. All right. I will see you then. Take care of yourselves.